Welcome, everyone. Lovely to see you today. So last week was a really big move. We were talking about that before class, single whip, and we will review that today. Today, the move is not quite so complicated, which is nice because that'll give us some time with our review. But it also has some new footwork. And again, that's not that complicated, but I did want to invest some time in that. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go back and warm up a little differently than we've been warming up. Don't worry, we'll still do everything that we have done before, but we're going to do things in a slightly different order today. And I want to go back and have a flashback to the kinds of warm up we did at the beginning, but I think you'll have some new insights in that, and we'll go right from there into some of the into some work on the footwork, so that when we come to the footwork part of our new move, you've been introduced to the basic footwork that uses that final position. So that's what's on the docket for today. So our new move is going to be raise hands and step forward. And our new footwork is going to be empty step. And we're going to start right now with just some warm up. So let's start with some of these wellness exercises that we started with before. So I want you to get into prepare and you know this by now, right? You know that your head is rising up. You're feeling your feet grounded, very centered, knees soft. You're just ready. You could sit in a chair, fishbowl on top of your head. Nice, lovely. And then we'll go ahead and do the prepare. I'd like you to do it, do opening. I'd like you to do it a little bit differently. As you come down, can we sink? Sink a little. Nice. And then can we come up? Nice. And sink. Just feel your body. We're just warming up here. Nice. Those shoulders are down. And one more. And as we come down on this one, we're going to come up a different way. So our arms are going to rotate, and then we're going to come up. Leave your shoulders relaxed, but gaze up at the moon, circle around, and come down. So you can practice putting that fishbowl back on top of your head. The fish is going to go for a wild ride, because you're going to kind of gaze up and come down. As you come down, you're sinking. And again, you're pushing until you can't push anymore. Coming up. And coming down. Nice. All right. Some great, those are a couple of those wellness exercises. And then we did some shaking before, remember that? And sort of got our gorillas on. You know, just let your body be loose. Nice. Let your body be loose. Find those places. Can you still have that looseness in your lower back? And can you change that into sort of being a gorilla? You know, like just kind of let your whole body be a gorilla. We don't gorilla our upper body. Yeah, nice. But I want that lower body to feel really gorilla, you know. And then let's remember those knee bumps. So let's gorilla that lower body. Let's have that sense of I've got my weight a little down. I've got my knees a little bent. And remember, we could sort of shift the weight a little bit into one side, and then we could turn out. Remember that on our turn out, and we sort of bumped our knee out, and then we came back and bumped. And we did this. So we could go ahead and do that, right? We kind of almost danced. We went out, bump, in, bump, 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 bump. And now today, I want you to sort of notice what you're doing. I want you to notice how grounded you can keep this other leg and how there's a difference. There should be a difference. You should feel the weight on this foot over here, on all your whole foot, right? Because you've got more weight over on that side. It's here on your whole foot. But the other one, the weight is only a bit in your heel, and you want to, and how are you turning that out? You're not really turning that foot out. Remember that? You're turning that whole thigh in the hip joint, right? That whole thigh bone in the hip joint to turn that whole lower part. That way your knee aligns with your toe. Let's do it on the other side. We're going to, again, just have more weight. It's a very small move, more weight in this other side over here. And the whole foot on the ground, we call that being on the bubbling well, the whole foot. And then I want you to think about the weight is going to be in your heel of this foot over here. And you're going to bump out and come in. We know how to do this, out and in. If you want to do something with your upper body, you can do that. You can get as fancy or as not as you want. But I want you to pay attention to the same thing. We're pivoting on that heel because we did that last weekend. We're going to do that, this weekend, raise hands. We're going to do another pivot on the heel. We've done that before. And I want you to notice that we're turning out. We're turning that whole leg, really, in our hip joint. And that's helped by the fact that we're kind of gorillaed. So the fact that we're kind of bumping up and down here is keeping us soft, like we're almost sitting in that chair. All right. So I want you to feel that. Here's something else that we did at the beginning. We were working on our balance, and we were also working on learning a bow step. And we stood in a corner. So if you can look at me, and then I want you to turn in this direction, 45 degrees, so that we're mirrored. So you'll be turning to your right, to that right corner. And then I'd like you to stand on your right foot, your foot over here, and pick up your other foot. Okay, pick up your other foot. And since we're standing in the corner, you'll notice that your knees are probably both pointing in this direction when you start, right? Because you just took those instructions. I want you to put your hand on your left thigh bone and turn it out, and then let it come back. And turn it out, and let it come back. And turn it out, and let it come back. I'm sorry, it's your left. This is your left. I said that wrong. It's your left, right. You're standing on your right foot. I just realized I'd given the wrong instruction. There you go. And then let's go do that on the other side. We'll just stand in the corner. Yeah, you're going to be standing on your left foot, and we're gonna put our other foot. It's here, but we could pivot that out too, right? We could pivot that out too, right? And you notice that again, you're moving that, you're making more space really in that we call this the quad area, and it's a kind of complicated area. All right, let's go back to this corner. And what I'd like you to do, remember we did this, we did a heel touch and then a toe touch and then a heel touch and a toe touch. I'd like it to be heel, and I'd like you to really feel your whole heel pad. You may have to sort of ground, again, remember your hips are your body, your lower body is still to the corner. You have not moving this one, but you want to feel that all your weight's on this foot, but you want to give a little weight to that heel pad, and then take it off so that you can do that ball of your foot, and give a little push, that ball of the foot. And then can you pick it up and give it on that heel pad? Let's go to the other side, because if you're doing this right, this right here is gonna start feeling like, whoa, you know, like your thighs. It's a great exercise for your thighs. Okay, let's stay on the other corner. Bend your knees a little. Really put all your weight on that left foot, all your weight there. And then you're gonna turn out this other leg, turn it out. And then you're just gonna go heel toe, and you're gonna balance on that right foot for a minute. Now take a little rest, and then stand in the corner again on that left foot and sink down a little bit so that your knees are bent. Stay in the corner, just open out that thigh, and then put that heel down, just unfold it a little bit. And then can you rock onto it a little bit and push it in? I want you to imagine that you're pushing down. You're pushing down into, I don't know, it could be a pedal, you know, like you're pushing, but you're pushing with your heel pad, right? You've sort of rocked onto that. Now rock off it and get your balance again. And the only thing you're going to change, you're going to put your ball of your foot down, and then imagine you just planted a seed and you're like pushing it in to the ground. You know, you had tufted stuff on it. Let's go do that on the other side again. We're standing in the corner, weights on the back foot. Unfold that thigh and heel, and then sort of rock on it. Rock on it. And can you feel a little tension between both feet? So your foot on this side, your back foot, is fully planted on the ground, and there's no part of it that is getting more weight. Your front foot, you're rocking onto the heel pad. And now I want you to think about the fact that there's 30% in the front of your weight and 70% of your weight in the back. So this is not like a bow step. This is an empty stance. This is not like a bow step. And look what else it is. All we did is we came kind of straight out. Let's go back over to the other side. Stand in the corner again. Now you're on your left foot. You're gonna turn out that thigh. Turn out that thigh. Nothing else changes, just turn out that thigh. And note, you wanna make sure that your heels won't cross. So turn out that thigh and your heels aren't crossed. So you're not gonna be like over here, right? You're gonna be here. So your heels aren't crossed. And then put that heel down, and then, you know, feel both of your feet. Keep all the weight on this left foot over here, and your right foot's like pushing that pedal down. Nice. And you know what? If your body ends up tipping a little bit, your upper body, this is fine. Let's actually do it from this way. Let's all line up together now, right? So it's like we were looking this way and we turn to the corner this way. Get on your left foot, and put both feet in the corner and get your weight all on your left foot, and then open this right leg and put your heel down. All right, now we're gonna push in. And when we push in, we're not moving all the way up here, even though it's only the heel pad. But there is a little bit of a, you know, you may feel a little bit of a connection between your heel coming up and giving you just a little tilt right here. And that's how you can push down. It's a funny feeling to push down, but see if you can put some real weight in that. And then let's rock off it. And you could take that back, and then you could come in and you could rock onto it. Okay? Then you could rock back and put your ball of your foot down. Put your ball of your foot down, and can you do the same thing? Can you kind of just use the ball of your foot? But again, it's easy to take off, right? You could even rock back all the way on that heel if you wanted. Or you could move that foot out, move it out, and maybe go into a bow stance or something, right? But you'd probably come back to your heel first before you did. All right, so these are all, let's try it on the other side. These are empty stances. So just like in a bow stance, your hips are to the corner. Do you remember that bow stance? Your hips were to the corner. And we turned out also. But then we had to really unfold almost on the diagonal, right? In order to get the shoulder width apart. And then we heel, ball, toe, bend knee, right? And the back leg straightened. And then if we surfboarded this move, go ahead and do that. We surfboarded this move at this point on a bow step, we could look down and we could see that our knee is in line with the direction of our toes, and we look down and we sort of see that our lower body is open to the corner, like our hips are sort of open to the corner. That's because our hips are pretty open, you know? And we've had two kinds. We've had this kind, right? We've had this kind where we're in one line. And we've had this kind, right? Already, when we're vertical. We've learned how to do that. So if you push with your left foot right now and bend your right foot and go back and stand in the corner, we could make an empty step. And I want you to imagine a center line, which goes at the back of your right heel. And you got to cross that center line, but just barely, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to gorilla a little bit, bend that right knee. You're going to open your leg, your left leg, and unfold it right there. And it's probably going to be very natural for you. And then you want to build a relationship between those 2 feet. You want to be pushing down with your right foot into the floor. And you want to be feeling like you're pushing all the way down into the floor with that whole heel pad. And if you wanted, you could come back. And if you wanted, you could step out and do that again. Or you could step out and do it with the ball of your foot. It'd be a little different, but still most of your weight would be back. That's an empty stance. It's very, very easy to get out of. Oh, good. I see some of you going like this. Congratulations. All right, so if you didn't feel anything in your thighs, then these are the things that might be happening. You might have been cheating. You might have been putting a thigh out like this. You know, some of us do that, you know, like, and that doesn't require any energy really, but it's really bad for your hip. So you want to keep that hip, you want to keep that leg aligned like it was standing in the corner when you do it. And it may take a long time before you feel it. One day you'll feel it. You'll go, oh, that's what she was talking about. Oh, boy, that was a lot on my thighs. So that's one of the things. Another thing that can happen is, and this is a very similar, right? It's also that one goes up and one goes down. You know, it's kind of like, no, you want your hips to stay level, and you want your, if you think of your hips here, you want to think of that as at the corner. But then this part of your butt, you know, kind of is turning, right? And then coming down. And in general, our upper body ends up being towards the corner as well when we're using our heel. And that's what we're going to be doing today. Any questions about this empty step?
I have a question.
Yeah. Yeah, Maria.
This is elementary, but I would like to know the difference between an empty stance and a foot, an empty stance and then a bow step. Something
yes.
A little similar, but at the same time, I want to make sure I'm making a difference.
Okay, so I'm going to go through that right now. It was something I wanted to do. So, boy, I should have cued you to do this, and I didn't. So this is wonderful. All right. So you can do it with me or not. We're going to do a bow step. We're going to stand in the corner, and then we're going to turn that foot out, but we're going to have to kind of turn it further out a little bit and put that heel out so that there is railroad track distance. Remember that? So we unfold to get a railroad track, but then we let our foot kind of turn forward and we go heel, ball, toe, and we're shoulder distance apart. What is same is that when we're done, the front foot is pointing, in this front direction, and the back foot relative to that is out 45 degrees. A lot of other things are different also. Let's see, let's just do it this way. You can do it with me. Bow step, right? Like we have done this bow step where we go into right ward off from a left bow step. We end up into right ward off. And we have to bring that foot out and step out, and then heel, ball, toe, bend knee. And our bottom, like our top of our hips is kind of facing here, and we're kind of open to the corner. And there's shoulder width apart here. And remember, it's if you get 50-50 right here, like be on your surfboard, get 50-50, then straighten that back knee, then you'll see that you have a little more weight on the front foot. And when you shift back, if you shift all the way back, you'll feel that you have a little more weight on the back foot, but you still have weight on the front foot. Okay. So you shifted back and rolled back, and you still had weight on that front foot. In fact, we made sure you had weight on that front foot. Remember, when you came back, we made sure that we were still tilting our body a little bit this way. That helped us. And this little feeling right here. So that is the bow step. What's different in this one? A few things, but not a lot. Are we still standing in the corner? Yes. Is our back knee still bent? Yes. Are we on the bubbling well in both cases in the back? Yes. Do we turn out here, open up? Yes. Do we unfold? Yes, but not way over here. We just unfold in that nice natural, not shoulder width apart. Just so there can be one line, one center line between both of your feet. You unfold the distance that's natural, and then heel, ball, toe, heel, ball. No, sorry, heel pad. Sorry, I'm so used to saying other things. Heel pad. You stay on that heel pad. You push back on that heel pad. And you want to feel as if, so get to 50-50 here. Feel 50-50. Now come back further to 70-30. Right? You want to, if you're 70-30, then if somebody comes and wants to sweep this foot out from under you, you can quickly shift your weight because a bunch of it's already back. But if you were all the way up here, somebody could, you know, sweep your foot out from under you and you'd go forward. So, because you don't have, remember we went at all those advantages that you have when you're further apart, but we're not further apart now. So we've got to be a little cautious. This is good for whatever it's good for, but it doesn't have the same kind of benefits. One of its benefits is that you can be quite agile because all of your weight is not really so evenly divided. All right, good question. So what's similar? Back foot 45 degrees, front foot is straight. What's really different? Two things are different. Shoulder width apart or not, shoulder width apart between our heels, or both sides of the center line, one center line, two sides in empty stance. And what's different? A more equal division of weight in both step. Just, you know, one is bent, one is straight. That's the only reason it's not equal. If you bent them both, surfboarded it, it'd be 50-50. But we never do that in end position. Okay, and here, 70 in the back, 30 in the front. Both of them have a tip. A little bit of a tip. See how my body's just a little bit tipped? And both of them are open to the corner. Open here, feeling like you're open to the corner. So
that clarifies it. One final question.
Yes.
Is heel, bow, toe same?
No. So it's
don't have to worry about that.
So it's in the bow step. It's heel, ball. I mean, it's actually, we say heel, ball, toe, but really it's put it down. I mean, you're going to feel your toes contact the floor, but you're not going to feel a lot of weight there. Okay. In the other one, it's either sort of heel or ball pad. So in empty step, it's heel or ball pad. So you go from heel edge to heel pad, but you don't keep your foot up. You let it go down, but it doesn't quite touch the floor. Okay, let me try to, so you can see here. So it doesn't quite touch the floor. In a bow step, it would go all the way.
Okay, more pronounced. Okay, thank you.
Oh, thank you, that was great. Your questions were perfect. All right, so what I'd like to do is go through everything that we know so far, and then we're going to review single whip a bit, and then I want to teach you this new move. Okay, so we got a bunch to do, but now you have the close to the footwork, and I want to do what we know so far, focusing on the footwork, okay, rather than the arms. So if you get confused about the arms, see if you can just keep the footwork going. So let's actually try it from here. We're going to start here today. And does that make sense? I'm just thinking of where, no, we're going to start here. We're going to go ahead and start here. Yeah, start at 12 o'clock like we normally do. Prepare. So as we go into opening, our feet don't move, but you feel the weight equally divided on both of your feet. And you haven't gone down yet, but you could sit down at any moment. And here's where that happens. We give a little shift of weight to the left, turning out, opening that right thigh, and then sinking all the way on that right foot. We're going to make a left bow step. As we close, our left foot steps out, heel, ball, toe, bend knee. And this is one of those straight up and down both steps for left ward off. Right ward off. We're going to bend that right knee and shift a little bit. And now what are we going to do? We're going to just turn, pivoting on that left heel. We're going to do something like this with the footwork in our move today. We're going to push with the ball of our right foot, and all of our weight is going over to the left. We're going to do that today also. Then the right foot's going to release, and it's just going to come in where it's natural and then go out as you finish closing your arms. Now, today in our new move, it's not going to go so far. It's going to go into an empty stance. But in this move, heel, ball, toe, bend knee. Right ward off. Roll back. We're turning to the corner and pushing out. And then shifting back, bending that back knee and straightening the front. Can you feel weight in your front foot? Is most of your weight, though, still back? You should be about 70% in the back and 30% in the front right now, because this is kind of a wild position. Then we're continuing the circle and turning our upper body and shifting forward, bending that front leg and straightening the back. Then we're going to power the movement of our arms with our upper body, and then push with the front foot, bend the back knee as we shift back, and then reverse it, pushing from that back leg all the way into our hands to make that push work. You know you've done this. Single whip. We're going to shift back. As we throw someone to the corner, we pivot on that right heel. Then we're just shifting back here, bending. How do we do that? Bend that back leg more. Pivoting our left leg. As we windshield wiper, we step out shoulder width for a bow step, heel, ball, toe as we deflect and strike. So let's do this faster. From here. Prepare. Still emphasizing footwork. Opening. Again, feel your feet. This isn't complicated, so you can. You should feel very centered as you do this and powerful. Little tiny shift of weight to the left so that you can turn on that heel, pivoting, and then all of your weight and sinking. Just open straight because you're already shoulder width. For that bow step, you unfolded and push with the back foot, turn to the corner, heel, ball, toe, bend knee. Right ward off. Bend that right knee, turn. All our weight to the left. As we close our arms, our foot comes in and then steps out. This is another bow step, heel, ball, toe, bend knee. Roll back. Oh, it's nice not to be moving our feet, huh? But we're going to shift now. Keep some weight in your front foot. How do you do that? You've got to let your spine be pointing a little bit towards that front foot direction. Continuing the circle, we come square and press out. Push. Shifting back, storing energy, feel it and push up the diagonal. Single whip. I'm going to call the arms two, because I know we weren't here much, some of us. We're going to shift back, hands flatten. Think about starting to pull with that left arm. Throw someone in the corner, pivoting on that right foot. Now we're just shifting back, bending that back knee, and then pivoting with the left foot as we make our hook. Stepping out for a bow step and striking. Oh, lots of people in the right positions. All right, so doubtless we have some questions about this move. Does anyone have a question? What is challenging about this move, or still fuzzy?
I feel like my knees are a little bit, oh, sorry.
Go ahead,
no, go ahead.
Jane.
Oh, I feel like my knees are a little bit twisted. So let's see, as we're doing the whip, and then it's sort of, I don't know, I'm definitely getting like a little bit of tension. I think, I don't know, I can't remember if it's the left knee or the right knee, but they do, and I don't know,
Okay.
maybe because we're learning, it's going kind of slowly.
So let's go through that footwork. All right. I think it's just best to sort of to do it together, and then shout out. You're unmuted, or stay unmuted. Shout out. First of all, let me explain this. And if you have a small bow stance, so if you have almost a shoulder width apart distance here, as well as, like between your heels, then when you turn around and then pivot on the ball of your foot, I don't know if you can see this, but my feet are actually crossed, and that's quite awkward. So a little more distance, if you can cheat on that bow step, knowing this will happen, and go a little further forward, it may be easier for you. So I want you to tell me which knee is torquing, but here are two things that are good guidance for this turn. Number one is you need to be turned, well, three tips. One is when we turn, we're going to be back already. Make sure you're back already. So actually, so the first thing we do is we shift back. And when we shift back, the weight goes into our heel, but there's not much there. Because in the moment that you turn, you do want to have something that you're turning on, but that's really all you need. You need your whole torso to be, it's a little tilted, and it's going to swing around just like a top, the whole torso, until you're here. And as long as your foot, your left leg is grounded, and two other things, you relax, you gorilla your lower back. You have to really, if your lower back is tight, which many people's is, your lower back is tight, then when you go around, look how far I get around. I don't get around very far at all. So if you can gorilla, like come back and gorilla right at this moment, and then keep that gorilla relaxed feeling as you turn, and just maybe not turn quite so far with you don't have to turn all the way. That'll come, turn, cheat. If you can get past this direction a little bit, that's good enough, right? Then you're less likely to torque this left knee. The left knee torquing, if that's what's torquing, I think comes because you swing this hip and it takes your knee out of alignment with your toe. That's my guess. So that left hip, that weight's got to stay on that left foot. And you don't want to be moving that left leg and the left part of that hip. What you're doing is you're turning in like this. You're turning it. Do you see how my left leg isn't changing at all? I mean, it could do this, right? And it could change a lot and you'd see my knees move, but it's really like this. I'm turning in on it. In on it. Now I realize I am, you're turning left and we're going to be turning left and I was just turning left. So that may have been confusing, but you know, if I was mirroring you or something, it would be like this, right? So try those tips. The other thing you can do is just don't really go so far, and we don't want your knee hurt. So take care of your knees. And if I saw you, Jane, then I could help with that. All right, so let's try that footwork one more time. Is we're going to shift back, gorilla, gorilla, gorilla. Keep this leg a little bent. Don't over straighten it. We're going to take this whole body and just turn it. You see, it's tipped a little. Turn it. Then we're going to bend that knee, releasing almost all the weight from your front and letting that foot pivot. Then that foot just, people say it comes in, but it just like relaxes, right? Has nothing to do. And then you turn it out for your bow step. You want shoulder width apart in this direction. Heel, ball, toe, bend knee. So try it this week, Jane, and see what you discover, and let's chat again. You can also email me.
Yeah, I think it was helpful to not, I think I was turning the right foot too much. Like I was trying to turn the right foot in the direction of the arms. And I think that was too much of a turn. Just a little bit, you know, just on the other side of 12 o'clock was much better.
The other side of 12 o'clock is a great place to start. And as your lower back, as you get familiar with the move and your lower back gets looser over time, it'll come. And there are tricks you can do if you really can't even get to 12 o'clock. So if there are folks in here who want to know about those tricks, we could cover them maybe next week. Okay. What I'd like to do now is really introduce you to this other move, because there's a bit to it, but we've pretty much got all the pieces of the footwork. So so let's go straight to the arms, and then we'll do a little bit on the footwork with the arms, and then we'll have this next move for you. All right, so I'm going to be mirroring you now. So so what I want us to ask you first is, anybody in this place a really, really great swimmer? I mean, like swim team, or, you know, like just had like umpteen swimming courses. But can have any of you swum?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, lots of you have swum.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want you to sort of remember when you were first taught the breaststroke, right? And you didn't necessarily do it the way the Olympians do, right? So what was that like? You had your hands out, and you came in, and you came out, right? Right. You came in, and you came out. And we're just going to use this kind of Tai Chi arm, and we're going to come in and come out. And we're not going to do this, right? Because that would sort of violate that always have a circle here, right? We're going to come in and come out, come in and come out. We're going to be moving back our weight here and coming forward here, okay? So just get a feel for that. It's a circle. It's an open, close. You can even think of back, forward, back, forward, back, forward, right? Because if you've done breaststroke, you have a bit of that, right? You've got a sense of that. I mean, I know breaststroke would be different, but okay. This is called raise hands and step forward. Well, what's the raise hands part? The actual move itself is like, put them up. So there's this moment when it's kind of like you're startled, or someone said, put your hands up, you know? So you're gonna make a circle, but you're gonna, right when you're back here, it's gonna kind of look almost like push, right? So you're gonna be here and you're gonna raise hands, and then you're coming back out. And when you come back out, you're here, okay? So let's practice that. We're swimming, we're just gonna swim. And now after this one, we're gonna raise our hands when we come back. Whoa, and then forward. Whoa, and then forward, right? Raise hands and forward. It's called raise hands and step forward. So, hey, that's pretty cool. All right, now, one more thing that happens. You'll either feel this or you won't, but I know a lot of you have been, continuing the circle, and feeling some of the swinging. So there's some swinging in here too. I mean, it's Tai Chi, right? So you can do this on both sides. So we'll do practice on both sides. So we're gonna swim and come here. And as we go forward, just let your arms go forward, just like you did before. But I want you to turn your upper body to the corner. So your hands kind of end up like this. But really, it's because you turned. You see that? So we'll do it again. We'll turn the other way. Raise hands and step forward, as you came forward and you turned. I want them to end up right in front of, if you look straight at me, they're kind of centered on your nose, but look where your chest has gotten, right? Let's do it again on the other side. Raise hands and turn. Raise hands, we're going to turn the other way. And the other way. And the other way. Okay, so they end up, once you keep your head, you're turning your body, your upper body, right? But your head's staying right here. And I want those hands to end up on either side. Ready? So if we don't turn, that's where they end up, right? We're swimming. We're swimming. We'll just swim for now. Don't worry about the raising hands part. Now we're going to turn. We're going to turn that way, right? We're going to turn. See, and if you turn back, they're there, right? So let's do it again. Turn the other way. We're going to turn this way. Turn.
Are your knees bent or straight?
Well, it doesn't matter right now because we're just doing the upper body. Do whatever. I've been in my knee because it just makes it easier to turn my torso. Okay, so we're going to put the raised hands in it. So what happens is we're going to raise hands. And as we come forward, we're turning. And we're going to raise hands. As we come forward, we're turning. Okay? And I don't want to see your arms way over here because your body's turned, but they're in front of your eyes. Okay? And your hands, it's kind of your palm in a way that's towards the center forearm. They were like this, and you turned, and it's kind of, all that happened was your body kind of turned. It takes a while to get that. So one shouldn't feel like it's behind the other. It's not closed. They're in front of you. Whichever side you're doing it on, they're in front of you. Okay, so if you held on to some, you could hold, I don't know what you'd be holding, but you could kind of steady something in front of you, right? So let me actually show you what happens in this move, just so you have a sense of what's happening. You're actually taking somebody's arm and controlling it with this hand, and then this arm is coming over and hitting it. Or it's just controlling it. It's coming on and saying, I'm not going to hit it, but you know, please do what I want you to do, because you know the person's going to be like, ooh, you've locked my joint, right? So that's why your hands need to be two sides, because there's actually an arm in between you, and you're actually hitting with this point. So you could imagine that, right? So you don't want your arms to cross in this, okay? That's better, much better. I'm seeing that's coming. So sometimes knowing what it is helps with this. All right. So let's actually add this on. I want us to be in single whip from this position. So you're going to be striking out. You're just come behind me for the moment. So you're going to be striking out with your left hand at shoulder height, and your right arm is up there towards the corner in its nice hook, and you're erect, and you're in this nice bow stance, left bow stance. And what are we going to do? Let's just see it. We're going to bend that right, try it. We're going to bend that right knee, and we're going to turn to the right. Hey, we've done this somewhere before. Our arms just move with us. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start to move left and release that hook. And then as we really start to move left, we're going to bring those arms in and raise hands. And the right foot is coming in too. Then what's it going to do? Those arms are going to move forward a little bit, finishing their sort of closing. And you're going to put that right heel down in an empty step. And as you put the 30% on, you're going to turn your upper body towards the corner. Finish that turn towards the corner. And your hands are going to be in front of you. Oh, you folks look great. Look at that. Okay, now I want to actually show you this so you can see it once, but you're not going to be able to do it. I want you to just see it. My apologies, I've been completely forgetting about differentiating from this today. Here's our right hand. Okay, so this is just so you can see. We're going to shift back and turn to 45. We've done something like this before when we go to right ward off. We're going to move left, release the hook. Arms come in as our foot comes in. And as we put 30%, we see how my upper body is at the corner and my arms are in front. If I did it this way, I shifted, turned, released my hook, arms and foot in, raise hands and step forward. All right, let's try it again from this side. Here we are in a left bow stance, so our left foot is forward, our right foot shoulder width apart, remember, railroad tracks like mine. And it doesn't matter how long it is, it should be something comfortable for you, your normal bow step, okay? Hook, the hook's gonna be behind you off to the corner, and you have extended out from your shoulder in a strike. And you're open to the corner, right? We're going to shift our weight a little to the right foot so that we can get the weight just on our left heel and just turn. No changes in the arms. Our left foot's at 45 degrees. Our gaze continues to 3 o'clock as we release our hook, and our arms circle in as that foot comes in and out, rooting. Then we turn as we finish extending forward, and because of that, our arms are in the final position, turning our upper body. One more time. Shift, turn 45 degrees, release the hook, and arms, hello, raise hands, and 30%. Let's do it again. Left foot forward, right foot at 45 degrees, hook. We've got our strike hand, shift a little, turn, weight coming to the left, hook releases, raise hands and step forward, 30% on the front. So it's going to take some practice. It turns out that like we need an extra 15 minutes somewhere. I've done 2 classes now, and something's getting short shrift either way. Let's do it once from so that we can start from this position. So I believe that means we start here. Let's just give it a try and see if that works. Is that right? Yeah. All right. I realize you haven't had much practice in Grasp the Bird's Tail today, so just do what you can. So prepare. Opening. Coming up to shoulder height. And down. We're going to shift a little to the left, turn out to the right. All of our weight to the right, close step. And now you're going to turn away from me to the corner. One up, one down, big McCall, nice. Then we're going to bend that right leg and turn to the right. This is going to be very similar to what we've done before. And we're all our weight to the left as we're going into a right bow step and bringing up our forearm, our small bird, nice. And roll back, turning to the right, pushing out to the right, and then coming back, circling for press and pressing out. Opening our arms and coming back, hands flatten. You know this is hard. Up the diagonal, nice. Then hands flatten as we go back. Think about grabbing with that left hand, throwing your whole body towards that corner. Arms continue to circle as our weight shifts back. And make a hook. Windshield wiper, deflect. And here's our new move, raise hands. We're going to shift a little to the right, turn to the right. All our weight to the left, release that hook. Foot comes in and out. Raise hands and step forward. Well done. Pretty close. Nice job. All right, well, we are at time. I wish we had more. we had a lot today, and we will do more next week. It may be that we'll see how far we get next week. We may or may not. We may do a consolidation week, or we may do one more move and then consolidate. We'll see. So don't worry, you will get it all before we get too much further. So let's end class. Thank you all.